You've just entered the Bear Report, your digital zone for all things Chicago Bears. Bear down. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're diving into a game that, well, it left fans pretty speechless, honestly. Coaches scratching their heads. The whole team just looked, frankly, in disarray.
Yeah.
We're talking about that absolutely jaw-dropping, brutal 52-21 loss. Felt even worse than the score, really. One analyst just kept saying it was really, really, really bad.
And it wasn't just a bad loss, it felt like a complete dismantling. The Lions, they just seemed to find every single weakness and hammer it.
Yes,
effortlessly.
Absolutely. So our mission today, for you listening, is to really unpack everything that went wrong here. How did this catastrophic performance happen?
Right.
We're going to look at individual plays that just made no sense, broader team strategy, even some, questionable personnel stuff. We're pulling insights from sources like those really candid post-game radio shows, Hallis Intrigue, and Take That North. Plus, we've got some expert film breakdown from Olin Kreutz over on 670 The Score.
Kreutz always has good stuff, sees things others miss.
He really does.
Yeah.
So by the end of this, you should have a really clear picture of why this loss specifically is setting off so many alarms, even this early, and what huge questions the team is facing now.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Okay, so let's just get into it. The humiliation.
Right, the humiliation.
Yeah.
And to really get how bad it was, you got to look past just the 52-21 score.
Yeah.
Our sources were saying the Lions pulled their starters pretty early. They probably could have put up another, 14 points easily.
Wow.
Their offense was just humming, over 500 yards total offense, averaging 8.8 yards per play overall. But before they sat the starters, it was like 11.9 yards per play.
11.9. That's basically a first down every single snap.
Pretty much, yeah. Unbelievable efficiency.
It's almost hard to comprehend. And like you said, not just a bad loss, historically bad.
Exactly. In the whole Super Bowl era, the Bears have only given up 52 or more points 3 other times. Think about that.
Okay, what were those?
55 to Green Bay in 2014, 55 to the Lions way back in 97, and 54 against the Eagles in 2013.
So this is rarefied air in the worst possible way.
Absolutely. This wasn't just, a bad Sunday. This overshadows other recent stinkers like that 41-10 Lions loss or the Thanksgiving game last year. This was different.
And speaking of the Lions, this was Ben Johnson's big return to Ford Field, wasn't it?
It was, and it did not go well for him. Reports are he got booed pretty much the whole game.
Ouch.
And then at the end, when Caleb Williams got pulled for Tyson Bagent, the crowd was actually chanting F Ben Johnson.
Seriously. Wow. That's rough. Definitely not the homecoming he pictured.
Not even close. For any coach, that's just a brutal slap in the face.
Okay, so that sets a pretty grim stage. Let's pivot now to the offense. What exactly went wrong? Caleb Williams, the coaches, just the execution. It all seemed off.
It really did.
Sources point to Caleb's struggles and inaccuracies, that really bad interception. One analyst even said it reminded them of the kind of game that got Justin Fields,
Booted. Yeah, I saw that comparison.
Is that fair, though? Really?
Yeah. Well, it definitely highlights the pressure he's under, right? But that specific interception, the one on 2nd and 32, that got a lot of focus.
What happened there? Caleb said he was trying to make a play, maybe throw it away.
That's what he said. But the film, it really looked like a miscommunication with Zacchaeus, the receiver. He broke off the route.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't just Caleb making a bad throw into nowhere. It looked like a fundamental breakdown. Quarterback and receiver not on the same page, under pressure. That's a symptom of bigger issues.
Right, and that connects to what Olin Kreutz was saying, doesn't it? His whole see better than I hear thing. Like, no matter what Hallis Hall says about intensity and details.
Exactly. Kreutz watched the film and saw, in his words, a lot of mental mistakes. Details just not the way they're supposed to be.
So a disconnect between the talk and the tape.
A big one. He's basically saying, look, whatever they're preaching in meetings about being sharp and detailed, it's just not showing up when it counts. And for any team, really, when what you do doesn't match what you say, that's a huge red flag. Points to problems in preparation or focus or maybe both.
And those execution problems, they went right to the heart of the O-line, didn't they? Especially the extensive interior three.
Oh, yeah. Drew Dolman, highest paid center in free agency. Joe Tooney, maybe a Hall of Famer someday. Jonah Jackson, another big signing. You're talking, what, $150 million tied up in those three guys?
Right. And yet, they couldn't get Caleb Williams 1 single yard on back-to-back QB sneaks. 3rd and 1, 4th and 1.
It's kind of staggering, isn't it? Ben Johnson apparently even told Caleb afterwards he should have gone right. There was maybe a little room there. And the fact that they were even talking about needing to practice the tush push, the Eagle sneak play, that tells you how bad the failure was on just a basic fundamental play.
So what was the issue on film? Just getting beat.
Well, Kreitz pointed out Jonah Jackson struggling at right guard. He hasn't played there much, remember? Most of his good tape in Detroit was at left guard.
Ah, okay. New position.
Yeah, and that transition plus getting used to Dolman at center, it seems like there were communication breakdowns on protection calls. You could see it on tape.
So it's not just about talent then, even with big names, if they're not clicking.
Exactly. That's the key takeaway, I think. Pouring money into players doesn't guarantee cohesion. This expensive unit failed at something really basic because they weren't operating as a unit. Communication just wasn't there.
Okay, so passing game issues, O-line communication breakdowns. What about the run game? Sources said it looked like an identity crisis.
That's a good way to put it, yeah. DeAndre Swift, for instance, got called out for disrespect to the play.
What does that mean, disrespecting the play?
It means, instead of pressing the line of scrimmage, that little moment where you read the blocking, he was trying to decide where he was going to bounce it before the hole even developed.
Impatient.
Kinda, yeah. And Kreitz questioned if an older player like Swift can even change that habit now. He said Swift looked more like a third down stat back, catching passes, maybe getting yards in space, but not hitting the hole consistently.
Interesting. So not just Swift, but the whole scheme.
Yeah, the whole approach seems muddled. They're trying to marry gap schemes with the outside zone, apparently, but it's not clicking. There's a lack of counters, different looks to keep linebackers guessing.
And they even use DJ Moore at running back.
Right, which, suggests maybe they don't have a ton of confidence in the other actual running backs on the roster right now. And look, Ben Johnson even admitted it. He said he never really felt good about the run game in this one, and that he's still figuring out what his guys do well, how to mesh his system with the new staff Bieniemy Roshaw.
So it's a learning curve for the coaches, too.
A big one. The run game isn't just underperforming, it seems strategically confused. They haven't found a clear identity that fits the players they have. That's a major problem.
And that lack of clarity, that rigidity, it seems like it goes beyond just the run games. Sources mentioned this first drive phenomenon.
Yeah, that's interesting.
They've actually scored touchdowns on the first drive in both games this year, which is way better than last year, right? But then
the offense just degraded from that point on. That's what the analysts were saying.
So what does that tell you? They can script plays fine, but then
it points to a real problem adjusting in game, right? Once the opponent sees the opening script and makes their own changes, the Bears' offense seems to stall out.
Why, though?
Well, Johnson's ability to pivot seems limited, partly because of how Caleb's playing, sure, but also because, as we said, there's no reliable run game or maybe depth there to lean on.
So they start strong, scripted, then fall apart.
Yeah, an offense that can look good on paper for 15 plays, but then can't adapt when the game changes, that suggests a deeper strategic issue. They become predictable.
Okay, so if the offense starts strong, then fades, unable to adjust. Let's talk defense, because the expectations there were sky high, weren't they?
Oh, absolutely, especially after week 1 where they showed some, flashes of dominance. This defense was supposed to carry the team while the offense figured things out.
But that's not what happened against Lions. Not at all.
Not even close. It was a total collapse. Sources describe it as no pass rush, no run stopping, tons of lapses in the secondary. One analyst said it looked like OTAs type on 7 practices.
OTAs, like summer workouts. That bad.
Yeah, basically preseason level mistakes, not NFL game speed, not NFL execution. Detroit just did whatever they wanted. 511 total yards.
Jeez.
334 passing, 177 rushing, and those big plays. Jamison Williams, 64 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 44 yards right against Tyreek Stevenson. The secondary just got torched.
And the pass rush.
Non-existent. 0 sacks. The entire game. 0 against a division rival.
Wow. Okay, so total defensive failure, and then the injuries. That just makes it so much worse.
Oh, devastatingly worse. Re-aggravations of what sound like pretty serious long-term sounding injuries to 2 of their absolute best defenders.
Jalen Johnson and T.J. Edwards.
Yep. Johnson's groin, he'd just come back after missing 6 weeks. Edwards' hamstring, he'd missed 3.5 weeks. Losing those 2 again, potentially for a while, that's a massive blow.
Especially when the defense was already struggling with them.
Exactly. Look, there's already a bit of a talent issue on that side of the ball, especially depth-wise. These injuries just expose that even more.
Why the talent issue? Haven't they drafted defense?
Well, think about the recent high picks. Most have gone to offense, right? Caleb, Johnson the receiver, Trapillo, Loveland, Burton, Magaji.
Good point.
So you don't have a pipeline of young defensive guys developing. Look at Shamar Turner, a second-round pick, healthy scratch. An undrafted guy, Theo Benedict, dressed over Ozzy Trapillo, another pick.
So not only are they struggling, but the depth behind the starters, especially with injuries, is really thin.
Critically thin. It exposes maybe some flaws in how they have allocated draft capital recently, and now they're paying the price when injuries hit key spots.
And speaking of key spots, the cornerback position. That was supposed to be a strength, right? Deepest group on the team, maybe.
That was the narrative, yeah. But now, sources are saying it looks bad. Just so many failures by Tyreek Stevenson and Deshaun Wright in this game.
So what does that mean for Kyler Gordon when he comes back? Does he have to play outside now?
It definitely puts that question on the table. It just shows how fast a perceived strength can turn into a major liability when guys aren't playing well or get hurt.
And it wasn't just this game, was it? Even week 1.
Right. Let's not forget week 1. Defensively, it wasn't exactly a masterpiece. They let a rookie QB, J.J. McCarthy, win NFC Player of the Week against them.
Oh, yeah.
They blew an 11-point lead in the fourth quarter. They gave up 6.3 yards per carry late in that game when they needed a stop.
So the signs were there.
Kreutz pointed this out, too. He said the defense was great for 3 quarters in week 1, lights out, but then couldn't stop the run at all in the fourth. So the ability to just collapse defensively, it wasn't totally new in the Lions game, maybe masked a bit by the win, but the cracks were showing.
Okay, offense sputtering, defense collapsing, injuries piling up. Surely special teams were okay.
Well, about that. There was the whole kicker situation with Caro Santos.
Oh, right. What happened there?
He started the game with this bizarrely over-aggressive kickoff that sailed out of bounds, which is weird because in week 1, the issue was he couldn't kick it out of the end zone.
So inconsistent.
Very. And it immediately led to the team signing Jake Moody, you remember him, the kicker the 49ers drafted in the 3rd round, to the practice squad.
Whoa. So competition for Santos.
Well, Ben Johnson publicly said it's not an open competition, but come on.
Yeah, signing another kicker definitely sends a message.
It absolutely does. And the thing with Santos is Soldier Field is notoriously hard to kick in. Maybe the hardest stadium in the league.
Yeah, the wind and everything.
Right. And Santos is actually the most accurate kicker in the history of that specific stadium. So are you really going to mess with the confidence of that guy? A guy who already rebuilt his career after hitting a really rough patch elsewhere.
Seems risky. Creating instability where maybe you don't need it.
Exactly. It feels like an unnecessary gamble, potentially shaking the confidence of a proven asset for what exactly? An unclear game?
And that wasn't even the weirdest special teams or coaching moment, was it? That end of half situation.
Oh, God, the Isaac Telsla catch. Yeah, that was goofy is the word sources use. Just bizarre.
Walk us through it again. Catch made, clock hits 0.
Right. Bears start heading to the locker room thinking it's halftime, but then replay buzzes down. They ruled Telsla was inbounds when he caught it.
Okay.
And because of that, there's this 10-second runoff rule, which meant the Lions got another play, and they scored a touchdown.
A 7-point swing right before the half because of confusion.
Pretty much. Ben Johnson was apparently told it was halftime, looked totally confused on the sideline. People were comparing it to, like, old John Fox challenging a play that ended up being a fumble out of the end zone. It's just these really strange coaching moments.
And the rule itself sounds kind of wonky.
Yeah, critics called it a glitch in the rule book. Seemed really unfair in that spot. But the bigger point is, it just highlighted this, like, systemic lack of situational awareness from the sideline. Total confusion leading directly to points for the other team. Not good.
Not good at all. So, okay, let's pull back and look at the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
This is all happening under Ben Johnson, who chose the Bears, right?
Yeah.
He had options.
He did. And the reporting at the time was he chose Chicago, partly because he thought they could be competitive right away. You know, because of Caleb, the roster they had, the cap space, the draft picks.
And now they're 0-2. And the losses aren't just losses. They're, well, hard to watch, as sources put it. That vision is already looking shaky.
Really shaky. It creates a potential crisis of confidence, doesn't it? One analyst asked rhetorically, how many locker rooms have we seen where you can pinpoint the moment players go, oh my God, we might actually suck?
And this Lions game.
Yeah.
Could this be that moment?
It really might be that first serious seed of doubt for this group. And you have to remember, in Chicago, there's just this deep fatigue of losing. Fans feel it, but veteran players who've been through losing seasons here feel it too.
Yeah.
This kind of performance just heaps more weight onto that burden, makes it really hard to build any kind of belief or momentum.
Did you see some of those fan 3-word reviews people were
Oh,
posting?
yeah, they were brutal, but they kind of captured the mood. Over before Halloween, what's the point? Turd won't flush.
Wow, yeah. Even jokes like rehire Mel Tucker or digs about Ryan P's extension. Just pure frustration boiling over.
Total frustration with the whole direction, yeah.
And the pressure cooker just gets hotter, right? Week
Yep.
3, Dallas Cowboys coming to town.
Yep. Whose defense is run by Matt Eberflus.
The former coach. Oh, boy.
And whose offense just dropped 40 points today. The sources were crystal clear on this. Given the whole context, the Bears absolutely cannot go losing at home to Matt Eberflus. The optics would be terrible.
Yeah, the pressure is immense. The team right now, sources described it as unprofessional, totally inadequate, not suitable NFL football once you get past those first few scripted plays.
It raises questions about just the basic level of preparation and execution across the board.
And Ryan Poles' draft strategy is getting looked at too, right? With guys like Loveland, Burton, Trapillo, Shamar Turner. High picks who are either invisible or inactive.
Yeah, when you spend that kind of draft capital and you're not getting contributions, especially when the team is struggling this badly, people are going to start asking questions about talent evaluation and development. It's fair.
And even Johnson himself is saying he needs to improve.
He admitted it, yeah. Said he needs to get better at calling plays, scheming guys up, acknowledge the team is just now learning all how to work together. New staff, new quarterback, new system.
So it's a learning process, but the results so far.
The results have been alarming. The key insight from all this really is that this Lions game wasn't just one bad day. It feels like a potential crisis point. Confidence, execution, strategy, all of it seems challenged right now. It's a direct hit to the foundation of what this new regime promised.
It truly is. So this deep dive, it's really laid bare some systemic issues, hasn't it? Offense, defense, special teams, all compounded by injuries and some head-scratching decisions.
Yeah, a perfect storm almost.
And for you listening, this goes beyond just football scores, right? It's really a case study. How complex systems like a team can break down, the challenges new leadership faces, that intense pressure to perform when expectations are just sky high.
Absolutely. That gap between the promise and the reality right now is just vast.
So thinking about everything we've discussed, that deep fatigue of losing, the huge challenges coming up, the cracks showing everywhere, here's a final thought to leave you with. What is the single most critical area the Bears absolutely must address, like right now, immediately, to stop this season from just completely spiraling out of control? What do they need to do to restore even a tiny bit of hope for that competitive right-of-way vision Ben Johnson sold? That's the question hanging heavy over Hellas Hall this week.
Thanks for tuning in to the Bear Report. We're proud to be your voice in Bears Nation. If you liked what you heard, hit follow and spread the word. More news, more takes, more grit, coming your way soon. Don't forget to follow the show wherever you get your podcasts. And as always, bear down.